Hey guys, this is Brian.
This is Mike.
Sorry, it's been so long since we've come to you last. My wife had a kid, so kind of been out of commission the last 2 weeks and just haven't been able to tape. So we're back at you today. We're going to talk about the Seahawks and Redskins and Seahawks and Cardinals, and talk a little bit about the trade that the Mariners made for Healy to kind of shore up that first base position. Going to start off here. We're going to briefly talk about Seahawks and Redskins because it has been a little while. What a game, huh? They Seahawks got Seahawked. They came down and they scored at the end of the game. They gave Cousins, I think, a minute and maybe 20 seconds, minute and 16. I don't.
And a half, maybe. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it was a little bit more. Actually, no, excuse me, maybe it was a little more than that. Anyways, wasn't a lot of time,
But it
but
was too much time, apparently.
yeah, and maybe it really was. They I don't even remember. I could be off on the time. I think it was 2 minutes or less. I know that it wasn't. It was not a lot of time.
The 2-minute warning already happened, I believe.
Okay.
So it was too much time, though. And the reason why it was so much time is because Russell Wilson threw that touchdown pass to Doug Baldwin, I believe.
Baldwin. That
And
was a beautiful
so,
pass.
it was nice, and you love to score, but perhaps the Seahawks should have thought about running the ball once or twice, wasting a little bit more time on that clock before. Because, they had it happen to them where they had 31 seconds against the Bears left in the game a few years back when Sidney Rice was on the team, I remember. And we ended up scoring with 31 seconds. So,
Yeah,
you don't need that much time to score.
No, if you get 20 seconds, I think you can go the length of the field.
Especially if you have a
right.
timeout, too.
Yeah, especially, yeah. I think the problem I think it's good the Seahawks scored because really it's about getting in the end zone. Don't worry about everything else. And because Seahawks haven't been necessarily the most effective team in the red zone this year, I say, hey, you get in the end zone when you can get in the end zone. So
That's
they
true.
scored.
That's true.
And also, your defense has been stellar all year for the most part. I mean,
You would think that they'd be able to hold Kirk Cousins, but not today.
And statistically speaking, the Cousins, they were at, I think, 10 points. So at 10 points, Seahawks win. They never lose. I think this is their first loss this season with this amount of points given up. I don't think every other loss they've given up way more points.
Yeah.
Demons just got beat. Chancellor got beat on a pass, and then Shaquille got beat on his pass. And then Shaquille, I don't know what happened, kind of went into college mode. The guy fell on the ground and he didn't touch him. And luckily somebody else was there. I don't know who it was, if it was...
it was the backup.
Backup safety. Okay. Yeah, he was able to touch him there at the one. So I will say, I think if you had downed him there at the 5 or 6, I'd say Seahawks played really hard defense and try not to let him in. At the 1 yard line, I think, you know what?
Harder.
Yeah, and I think also at the same time, I don't know if they did this, but maybe they did let him into the end zone because at a certain point, you want to play hard defense for 3 downs, and then on the 4th down with 15 seconds left, they get into the end zone, and you have no time left. Yeah, exactly.
Win,
so Seahawks, I believe, had 59 seconds to have their final drive.
They just didn't have. I felt like
poor time management.
Well, they had no timeouts.
No, are you sure? I think they had one.
They didn't have any timeouts.
Okay.
And they needed to get big plays. Well, the problem with that is big plays come in the middle of the field. But sometimes I felt like they weren't hustling to the line, and it's just like you need to hustle the line if you want to score.
Yeah.
That being said, they ended up losing that game, which is unfortunate.
Well, they had I think 21, 22 seconds left, and they could have spiked the ball, and instead they hiked it. And we got beat on the line, and he threw the ball away.
Yeah.
And so it, So then they had to do the Hail Mary.
The Hawks don't do very often. They don't like to spike the ball.
Yeah.
They like to use the
Yeah,
momentum
they do.
to keep going.
They do. Yeah.
That being said, if your offensive line can't protect and Russell Wilson's got to scramble and throw the ball away, that's really detrimental to your team when you could have drawn up a nice play maybe and give the offensive line a break.
Yeah, that's true.
Because those guys are just as tired as the defense can be sometimes.
Yeah.
They're the ones in the trenches. So
yeah, we'll say they kind of lobbed up a Hail Mary at the end. It looked pretty close. Went into, I don't know if it was Graham's hands or somebody's hands, and
it definitely hit somebody's hands. I think it was McAvoy. But I could be mistaken.
It was, for a second there, I thought, oh my gosh, they actually might have caught that ball and won the game, but no chance. It's just unfortunate they couldn't at least get into field goal range.
Yeah, I kicked that field goal in time.
Yeah, at least. Now, We lost the game because Walsh couldn't hit any field goals. He did miss 3 field
That's
goals.
true. He did miss 3.
So,
And I will say this, actually, a lot of people are like, why the heck did we have Blair Walsh? Before this game, he missed 1 field goal and 1 extra point.
that's true.
Like, cut the guy some slack. Like, yeah, you shouldn't miss 3 field goals in a game. Nobody should ever do that.
No.
That being said, he literally missed 2 tries before this. That's not bad.
No, it's
like,
not bad. It's not, it probably just he missed the first one and then probably shook it off. Second one, he maybe was thinking about it a little bit and he missed it, and then the third one probably was just all mental. And he just was,
Well, and I don't know if you saw this, but the Cardinals game, he came in and hit a field goal right away.
Yeah,
and,
he did.
He was perfect in that game. So
yeah,
everyone has a bad game. People sometimes can be really critical. Cut the guy a break just because he has a history of not as successful kicking as, let's say, Hauschka did before he came to Seattle. I mean, everyone misses one.
We let Hauschka go. We let Hauschka
go because he was commanding way too much money.
Was that? It wasn't because of the
Blair Walsh. Blair Walsh was cheap, and on top of the money that we were giving Hauschka, he was missing. So. Extra points. So, I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you want to look at it from a money standpoint, we're saving a lot for Blair Walsh, who, in my opinion, is a better kicker than Stephen Hauschka. He's got a better. I don't know if I go that far, but he's got a better leg than him. He hits longer field goals. It seems like sometimes he can hit those 50-yarders with ease, but you get him in 20-yard range, and he's like, "What do I do?" But I think he'll be fine. Everyone has a bad game, like I said.
Yeah, that's true. Well, the Seahawks did bounce back against the Cardinals game. This last Thursday, really good game. Or I guess it wasn't this last Thursday. Really, it was a Thursday before. So it was a good game though. Seahawks went down. Costly win. Wow.
Richard Sherman out for the year.
And Chancellor.
And Cam Chancellor now too. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that's
two biggest pieces of defense.
Well, you know what they say when the Legion of Boom has 1 or 2 people missing, where our record I think is like 5-5-1 or something like that. And when they're healthy, it's like 12-2.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's huge.
I would say it's going to take a miracle to make it to the Super Bowl this year now with Chancellor and Sherman out.
I don't know about necessarily a miracle, but I do think it'll be tough. I mean, you got to have young guys step up, and I do think Cam Chancellor has been a silent killer for our team this year. He's been in and he's been consistent, I think, for the whole year. That being said, Earl Thomas should come back.
Yeah, Earl's expected to play Monday against Atlanta, so that'll be pretty big. It'll be good to have Earl Thomas back. He really commands respect from the opposing quarterbacks being out there in the field. So
without Sherman, looks like Jeremy Lane is probably going to get the start at the opposite corner of Shaquille Griffin.
Yeah,
I will say this.
And Maxwell's back now.
Yeah, we signed Byron Maxwell. I will say this, not to be insulting to Richard Sherman in any way, but Jeremy Lane was the projected starter opposite Sherman in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
The Seahawks obviously had confidence in him at one point at the beginning.
Yeah.
And because of injuries, he was more or less benched, and Shaquille Griffin took his spot. Well, you've got the guy who was supposed to be the starter, and the guy who took his spot. As your 2 starting corners potentially. And Byron Maxwell, if he plays well and he proves that he can win.
Right there, huh?
Yeah, if he can prove that he can play well, maybe he takes somebody else's spot and he starts playing well. I mean, he's a guy that played, I think, 13 games as a starter for the Hawks, and he played well in those games as a Hawk, I felt like.
He did. Well, that's the reason why he got that massive contract with Philly. But I don't know what happened after the Seahawks.
Well, I mean, I think it's the Earl Thomas effect. I mean, the guys back there, let's be honest, he makes corners better than they actually are. I'll include Sherman in that. Maybe Sherman's not as good as he would be without Earl Thomas. Now, overall, from game to game, when Earl Thomas isn't back there, Sherman still plays outstanding.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely.
So, not to take away from Richard Sherman there, but Earl Thomas definitely is an all-pro safety, probably the best in the game right now.
I would say really one of the best to ever play.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few guys out there. Troy Polamalu was really good in his day. Ed Reed, really good. Kenny Easley, former Seahawk. he's a really good safety. I mean, there's some guys out there that I definitely would bring up, but Earl Thomas has got to be in that conversation.
Yeah, he's really good. But this last game was good. They won 22-16. Really kind of cool there. I couldn't believe that somehow CS got in there and they caused that extra point to be a miss, which ended up not having too much of an effect on the game because the CS got the ball back. But that was a pretty big play because then it came down to it came down to if the Cardinals had scored again, they would have had to have made that extra point.
Exactly. Well, another thing to go along with that, Richard Sherman is normally in that spot where the person who blocked it,
to get over
Lane. Jeremy Lane filled in for him, and he got the block kick. So, I mean, even if it's special teams, I think that shows Jeremy Lane is going to step up. If anyone has any doubts or worries, I know he's a little injury prone right now, but that being said, he stepped up on special teams and he played hard. I mean, that's a place where a lot of starters say, I don't really care.
Yeah, I hear you. Our running effort against the Cardinals was pretty good. We more than doubled their yards. Again,
75 yards for us.
Yeah, 75 for us, 34 for them. I will say, though, we do need to kind of work on it. Rawls got 27 yards, but it was on 10 carries. So, but here's the problem also is he had a long run of 23. So that means he had 4 yards on 9 carries.
He's pretty much just stopped at the line every other time.
That's not good. You can't have 9 carries for 4 yards.
Again, though, J.D. McKissick, I felt like played well. He had 5 carries for 26 yards with a long of 17. Now that again, you have the long of 17.
So it means you have 4 carries on 9 yards.
So he had 4 carries on 9 yards. But even still, I mean, you have the long of 17, which gets you a first down. So, a positive note, we held Adrian Peterson, probably one of the best running backs to ever play the game, top 5. I'll say.
We just have his number, though. He doesn't
21
play well against the Seahawks overall.
Well, yeah, I mean, for the most part.
He had that one game in Seattle.
He had a game where he had like 200 yards. But that was on his record-breaking nearly record-breaking season, yeah. He had 21 carries for 29 yards. I mean, he had a long of 9. That was really so he averaged
20 carries for 20 yards.
Yeah, if you really think about it. So, yeah, you take away the 9, he had 20 carries for 20. That's 1 yard a carry. I mean, that's excellent. And that's a place for him. But that's a place where the Seahawks have kind of struggled this year with the playing run defense. We've had some guys, Carlos Hyde from the 49ers, get some big runs on us. And so that was nice to see that they shut down Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Someone who they did not shut down was Larry Fitzgerald, and another guy at the receiver position who, in my opinion, could be a top 10 receiver all time, top 5 maybe even. 10 receptions, 113 yards.
Yeah, it's pretty good, honestly. He and his long was 18, so it's not like, he still is averaging probably 8-9 yards a reception. So that's good. I would take that any day of the week. Baldwin played really well, 95 yards on 5 receptions, with one of them being 54. But even still, you're talking 4 receptions on 41 yards.
And we only targeted him 6 times, so he only didn't catch the ball once.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. So
yeah, no, it really is. He really spread the ball around, though. I felt like he hit 3, 6, 8 receivers.
Quite a few, yeah. He hit a few running backs.
Yeah.
Richardson got only 1 catch. He was only targeted twice, but it was for 43 yards, which is really nice to see. Graham had 6 catches. He also had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns. They've really been going to him for touchdowns.
Well, it's really, I feel like Bevel finally understands that if you just put Graham, isolate him by himself, and he's got a corner on him, he's going to win that battle. And down in the red zone, that's just all you have to do to score. And it's just like we've been telling him for 5 years now, that you need to put a big body on a small corner. But Van Nett, the third tight end. No, but Bevel's been around for a while. Nick Van Nett, he's the 3rd tight end for us. He had 2 catches for 22 yards.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, for a 3rd string guy.
Yeah. Hey.
You know, I mean,
That was nice. He made a pretty good catch up the middle. I felt like he got hit.
one of them was pretty hard, so a pretty tough, difficult
Yeah.
catch to make. So yeah, he did that pretty well. McKissick had 4 catches for 20. I mean, he's really been so steady on offense. He had 26 rushing yards and he had 20 receiving yards. I mean, that's
pretty good.
That's not bad at all.
Not bad.
So
Wilson played decent. 238 yards passing. It looks like 2 touchdowns. I want to say, no interceptions, which is really good. On the other side, Stanton actually didn't play that bad. I'm sure Arizona fans are not happy with some of the bad throws he had. He did miss his targets quite a bit, had wide open guys, which means he could have played even better. But I just want to say he had 273 yards. He had more than Wilson. He only had 1 touchdown, but he was 24 of 47, and Wilson was 22 of 32. So, I mean, Wilson definitely had some better completion percentage. But, I mean, 273 yards is still it's not an awful game.
Stanton, though, for the past 47. I mean,
no,
that guy, he's a backup quarterback. That's what he is. He always will be. No offense to the guy.
Yeah.
You saw it against the Hawks. His throws, it's not even like we were playing really well defensively. He was throwing the ball high, he was throwing the ball low, he was throwing it outside, he was throwing it too far inside. He didn't throw any interceptions, which is actually something that I think he should be very proud of.
He played a decent game.
Yeah.
I would say it was not a bad game. It wasn't a great game.
Yeah.
But it was an okay game. I mean, it's not, you don't get fired for that.
For the amount of attempts, especially as a backup, but for the amount of attempts he had, if he wants to be considered a quarterback that is a starter potentially, then he needs to have 30 completions for 47 attempts. I mean, you got
to have over 50.
I know that's only 6 more, but that 6 more could be between 5 first downs or 6 first downs and none. So.
Oh yeah, no, I know, I totally understand. I hear you for sure. It was a good game though. Seahawks played well overall, but really unfortunate. A lot of injuries. I think we had like 6 injuries.
At one point, I was like, "Do we even have any starters then?"
Yeah, I know. The biggest one obviously is Sherman and Chancellor being out. The worst part is that Chancellor got injured on the very last possession of the Cardinals, just right there as the game was ending. It's just, I don't know. That's really unfortunate. And I mean, he had a stinger, and it was to the neck. And Seahawks came out today and said they don't know if he's going to play for the rest of the season. Might be done.
Who's that? Oh, Chancellor. Yeah,
and Sherman injured himself in the 3rd quarter, and he's out. It's going to be an interesting game against the Falcons. I still think Seahawks can win at home. They do have Thomas back. So that's a big thing. Thomas is back. Lane is playing. Lane's not too bad. Falcons running back looks like he might be out.
Devontae Freeman, he looks like he's still battling concussion protocol. So, as of right now, it's good. I mean, it sucks for Devontae Freeman. He's a good running back.
Yeah.
He's good in the passing game. He's good in the running game.
Yeah.
If he's out, that's definitely going to bode well for the Hawks.
And Seahawks defense is already stingy. I mean, it's not like, we play good defense on the run.
Oh, definitely. Well, on the pass, too.
Well, but I mean, to say then that your star running back isn't going to run, and you have to have your 2nd string guy come in, or 3rd string, I mean...
Atlanta traditionally, or at least in the last few years, has used a 2-headed attack.
Okay.
They actually have 2 guys where they split the time.
Okay.
That being said, if it's just one guy doing all the load, perhaps he maybe not as sharp as he would be.
It's true. You get tired. You get tired.
Exactly. I mean,
and Atlanta overall is, they're a little bit more of a passing team than they are really.
Yeah, they are, and they've struggled this year a little bit. I think that's a Super Bowl hangover. Atlanta, if they get into the playoffs, look out. I think they might be the team. They might be a good team in the playoffs come playoff time because
I don't know if they're going to make it to the playoffs.
You never know. I mean. Sometimes teams they pull together at the end. I mean, look at the Hawks a few years back. We weren't sure if we were going to make the playoffs. We won like 8 straight and made it in. So it really just depends on how well they play and if they can win. So
I hear you. I mean, in order for the Falcons to get in, though, they got to leapfrog the Saints and the Panthers. And Saints are playing well right now, you guys. They're 7-2.
7-2. Panthers are 7-3.
Yeah.
Again, though, I mean, if the Falcons say they beat the Hawks, they go to 6-4 at this point.
True.
all they got to do is keep winning. They're going to play New Orleans and the Panthers again. They beat both of them. They're looking pretty good. Like they could be in the driver's seat. Also, you've got the wild card.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I hear you.
Like I said, if they make the playoffs, I think they could make a run.
Yeah.
That being said, they do have to make the playoffs, and like my brother here just said, they've got a tough road ahead of them.
Yeah.
They're currently number 7. If the playoffs happen today, they would miss it. The Hawks are number 6.
Yeah.
So we would have to travel to, looks like, Philadelphia. Or no, I'm sorry. Philadelphia would get the bye week. We would have to travel to New Orleans.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
There's a lot of season left. We're about halfway through. Well, a little more than halfway through.
A little more than half.
A little more than halfway. The Eagles are 8-1. They hold that number 1 seed in the playoffs right now, and
Man, they're playing well.
which is funny. At the beginning of the season, everyone's like, "Oh, the Green Bay Packers Seattle Seahawks game is so important. It holds home field implications, yada yada." Well, when Aaron Rodgers goes down,
Well, and I
They
thought the Seahawks and Dallas game towards the end of the season was going to have huge implications.
yeah, that looked to be something as well. But
More like the Eagles and Seahawks game coming up here in 2 weeks.
yeah, that'll be a good one. Hopefully, hopefully the Hawks can beat the Eagles and
Oh man.
maybe squeeze into the number 2 or the number 1 seed if the Eagles lose. They're gonna have to lose a few more games.
I think Seahawks can get 2 seed this year. I don't know if they're going to get number 1, to be honest. I don't know who the Eagles are going to lose out to. I mean, they do have to face the Rams. I mean, it could happen. It could happen.
You never know.
Maybe. So, anyways, going to talk a little bit about the Mariners here. Mariners went out and got a first baseman from the Oakland Athletics. It's funny. It's like we've stolen 2 first basemen from them in a year. We went and got Alonso, and now we have Healy. Mr. Healy, he is a young gun. Ryan Healy is only 25. He'll be turning 26 in January, so he'll be 26 for this next season.
Yeah.
Here's my thoughts on this. I know that Vogelback and Alonso both were free agents this season.
There's a possibility we might not keep them.
Yeah, I mean, we won't keep both now that we have Healy. We'll let one of them go for sure.
The only thing about Vogelbach is he's been a minor leaguer the whole time, and so perhaps you keep him on a low contract. Or, if you don't pay him a lot, keep him in the minors. Maybe he'll develop into something. But
Yeah,
Alonso is a major league player, and he's going to demand a little bit more money.
Oh, for sure. And he'll probably. I don't think they'll keep Alonso. He'll end up going somewhere else. Here's my only problem with signing Healy. He strikes out a lot.
Yeah, Edgar Martinez to help with that, man.
I sure hope so, because he struck out 142 times last season. Healy, no offense, man, but that's a lot.
But he hit 25 home runs. He had 78 RBIs in 149 games. He didn't even play all the games in the season.
That's true.
He had 156 hits.
Yeah.
He scored 66 times.
Okay.
And he played pretty solid at first base, from what I understand. I don't know.
It's cheap. It's cheap. The Mariners aren't having to pay a lot for him. But
he also hit 271.
Yeah, 271's great. I love 271. I'd like to see the on-base percentage come up a little bit. His on-base percentage is only 302.
Perhaps he cut some of those strikeouts and put them with walks.
Yeah, maybe
you'll see that.
Maybe exchange 20 of them. Yeah, because here's the thing: 302 for on-base isn't that high. We need
people on base.
Yeah, we need a 340, 350, 360 on-base percentage.
Especially when you got Cano and Cruz.
Yeah.
Hitting, if they're behind them, especially. You got guys like that hitting.
I don't know where he'll be in the...
Gene Segura and Ben Gamble now. They're all hitting around 300-ish.
Mm-hmm.
If you got guys like that coming up to bat, and you got a guy on first base, well, first to third on a double or on a single, maybe on a double it's a first to home.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that just creates run, generates offense. You definitely want to see guys get on base.
Well, he's very multi-purpose too. He can play DH. I mean, anybody can play DH really. He plays first base and third base. Mm-hmm. Luckily, we're not going to be using him for third base because when he was Kyle Seager's our third baseman. But when he was playing third base last year, he committed quite a few errors. 11 errors in 31 games. That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's
and
that's a
on
lot.
the plus side, though, at first base, like I said, defensively, 2 errors.
Yeah, 2 errors in 39 games. That's great. Played really, really well. But
and he's a young player. That's something that I like about him. He's got a lot of future ahead of him.
Mhm.
He's got a bright future, I believe, ahead of him. Hitting 271 as a young player is really good. In his rookie season, he hit 305 in 72 games.
Yeah.
So I think he's a guy that can come in, learn from veteran experience like Nelson Cruz and Robinson Cano, Kyle Seager.
Get a little help from Edgar.
Yeah, maybe so Edgar Martinez as the hitting coach. I believe that he really could learn a lot. He could become that type of first baseman that maybe is our future at first base.
Well, and we have him under contract for 5 years.
Yeah.
So we have him for a little while. Dipoto has some room to really play. He's cheap. He's not going to cost us more than probably $500,000 this next year. It's really cheap compared to like somebody like Nelson Cruz, who's costing us Cano's costing us $24 million next year,
which is very expensive.
Here's the problem: the last 2 years of Cano's contract is going to bite us in the butt.
Well, and that's why they do that. They load those contracts though toward the and have all that money come out towards the end. That way, you can rework that contract and maybe give them an extension and pay them then. And I know that definitely hurts the team then, but that being said, early on in his contract, if you can build a team around him, it really is helpful because you get an all-star player like Robinson Cano, and if you can put a guy like Nelson Cruz around him, and you can get guys pitching, that's the thing. If you can get your pitching going, you got to get everything going. Once you get everything going, then you start winning ball games.
Yeah.
One thing I think the Mariners have going for them is they have position players pretty well done. I mean, there's a few spots that are a little iffy, but I mean, you got Healy now at first base. We'll see how he does. But second, shortstop, and third, all solidified. You got Gene Segura, Robinson Cano, and Kyle Seager. I mean, those 3 positions, great defensive players. And 2 out of 3 of them are hitting like 300 on offense. And then Kyle Seager, of course, is about 260. He had a down year last year. We'll see if he picks that back up. In the outfield, you got Ben Gamel, Rod Dyson, who does play defensively. He plays very well defensively.
Yeah.
And then at right field, you have a little bit of room. You've got you can put Cruz out there, who's not the best defensive player, but he's a good offensive player.
Yeah.
And so you trade that offense for the defense. And if you put him in right field, he does have to have a decently good arm. However, more often than not, you don't get those extremely tough plays out there.
Yeah.
You've also got a lot of versatility. Mater, he can play backup in the infield, and I believe he plays backup a little bit of outfield as well. So we'll see what happens. I think that position-wise, we're doing okay. And if you go back to behind the plate, catcher, I'm a little worried. I'm a little iffy. I know that Zunino played really well in the second half of the season last year.
He did.
He's done this before where he plays really well for a month and then he just forgets that he can play that well and he kind of plays poorly. Hopefully
or the pitchers just figure him out.
Or the pitchers figured him out. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how he does next year. Hopefully, I know that Edgar's been working with him and some of the veteran guys have been working with him on not chasing the slider out of the zone, not chasing the curveball down out of the zone. You know, it's like those are the ones that you want to lay off of. Get your walks. Take your pitches when you can. You'll have more success. So I think that the catcher position will be interesting.
We'll see what happens. What do you think?
Oh, sorry. Go on.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Oh, go on.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we do definitely need to solidify pitching. Get a couple more pitchers. But I was just gonna say about Cano, he's entering into the 5th year of his contract here. Halfway point. I don't know. He's hitting 35. He can still be really productive, but I don't know. Are we gonna see 300 out of Cano?
I think realistically, at the most we'll see 285, not 385. Whew. 285.
Wow, really? Only 285?
Well, I mean, he's 35, and hitters as they get older, they lose the average, but the home runs go up. The power stays. Because you can work out and be just as strong, but your bat speed, you're slower. Your eyes, they don't work as fast. Everything just gets a little slower. And
I mean, his career high for home runs has been with the Mariners. He hit 39 the year before, which is crazy.
And he did dip this year a little bit. However, he didn't play as many games. He played 11 less games
than last year.
Yeah, that being said, it was from 39 to 23. So it's not like the 11 less games would have given him the 39 home runs.
No. He still hit over 30 doubles, which is really good.
Mm-hmm. I think that's important too, especially if he's hitting number 3. If you get doubles with guys on base, you're moving people into scoring position. Then you're moving yourself into scoring position, which gives the next guy, Nelson Cruz or Kyle Seager, somebody else, a chance to hit you in.
Yeah, I'm hoping he hit 280 last year. I really hope he hits a little higher than 280. It's a little low for a $24 million a year guy.
Yeah, that's true.
I need 290. I mean, we're not paying Cruz nearly as much, and he's hitting. What did he hit? Like upper 290s?
And they're different. They are different players, and and Nelson Cruz had the performance enhancing drugs thing before he came to us.
Yeah.
And so you figure you're not going to pay this guy as much money because he did do performance enhancing drugs. That's something that you got to be wary of. It's not something you just want to.
Yeah, but I mean, he's been fine recently.
He's totally fine. He's not doing that any longer.
I mean, 200, 288. He had the most ribbies in the league last year. 119.
39. I think that's the league. I think that's most of his career.
No. He 119 ribbies last year was the most in the league.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh well,
nobody hit
also
more than
be
that.
most in his career ever too. So.
Yeah,
double bonus. 39 home runs.
Yep. 28 hits. Doubles. 160 hits.
That would be bad. I don't know how you hit.
Yeah.
39 home runs with only 28 hits. Maybe an error. Guy goes up to catch it, falls into his glove and out. Maybe that's an error. I don't know.
Something. But yeah. Anyways, that's really all we got for you today. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry it's been so long. Just that life happens. You guys know how it is. So I'm hoping for a Seahawks win here on Monday. I think they can do well. I'm hoping for the Huskies to win out too. Hopefully they can get a good bowl game.
Definitely not going to make the playoff this year.
No, definitely not.
Can't lose twice.
Can't lose twice, yeah. Especially one of the games to a bad team.
Unless all these other teams start losing.
Yeah, unless everybody tanks, but...
I mean, that's the only way that they could possibly get in, and even then, it's got to be like a number 4 seed. They do have the Pac-12 championship, which will help them if they win it. That being said, I don't foresee them being higher than maybe I think the highest they could get is either the Rose Bowl or the Fiesta Bowl, Orange Bowl, or Sugar Bowl. I don't know.
Maybe next year they can get a Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, those 4 bowls are the ones that they trade out every year for the national championship. So whatever one's not in it, I think that they could potentially get that.
Definitely.
If they win out and they got to win the Pac-12 title. That's a must.
Yeah.
So.
Anyways, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you later.
If we don't see you, have a happy Thanksgiving.